Okay, well, today we're at journal page 69, solving exponential equations. Steps to solve exponential equations graphically. Step 1, graph the left side of the equation. Step 2, graph the right side of the equation. Step 3, find the x value of the point of intersection. Okay, go ahead and finish up that first page. All right. Example 1. Solve the equation 3e to the 0.1x equals 54 graphically. Round your answer to one decimal place. Let me move the grid up here so you can take a moment to draw your own graph. All right, now you should have this all drawn so you can graph now. Okay, so we're going to come back up to 3e to the 0.1x. So we're going to graph that first. So let's graph the left side first. Okay, so I'm going to use the calculator. So on new document, add graph. So 3e to the 0.1x. Press enter. Now we want to press Control T. Now we want to match our table with the table here. So our x's are counting by 5s and they go to 40, and our y's are counting by 5s and they go to 80. Okay, so let's adjust our table that way. So we're going to go to Menu, Table, Edit Table Settings. So our table start is we want to start at 0 and we want to count by 5s and press OK. All right, so now our first point is 0, 3. 5, 4.9. 10, 8.15. 15, 13. And you're going to have to approximate these points. They're not exact, so you're going to have to approximate them. 20, 22. 25, 36, 30, 60.25, 35, 99. I believe that's too high, so you have your points. And again, you'll notice that you just have to approximate those points. Okay. All right. So okay. Now, the right side's 54. So this is the point we're looking for. Okay. Now, we could find the point of intersection using the calculator, but Desmos does a better job finding this point right here. So let's go to Desmos now. So we're going to go to Graphing Calculator. All right, let's go ahead and graph y equals 3e. I had the y just to make sure I graph y equals 3e to the 0.1x. Okay, and then y equals 54. Now you're going to have to come over here and zoom out. And we're looking to get to the y axis to be 54. So there you go. Now you zoomed out enough, you have this point, and all you have to do is click right there, and then there's your point of intersection. So that point, the point of intersection is 28, and they say round to one decimal place, so 28.9, comma 54. Okay, so the point of intersection is 28.9, comma 54. And you want the x value of that, so your x value, or your solution, is 28.9. All right, go ahead and finish up example 1. All right, now example 1 is finished. Let's take a look at example 2. Okay, solve the equation 756e to the 0.02x equals 7 graphically, rounding it to 1 decimal place. All right, so first, let me give you a second to draw your graph. All right, now you have that. Let's come back up to here and let's graph the left side. So I'm going to go to on, new document, no, add graph, and so we're going to graph 756 e to the 0.02x. Press enter. Press Control T, and we want to adjust the table. So we want to go to Menu, Table, Edit Table Settings, and let's come over here. It looks like the x min is negative 250, and it's going to negative 210, and they're counting by fives. Okay, so we're going to start at negative 250, and we're going to count by fives. Press OK. And so now we have our points. So negative 250 is 5.09. Negative 245 is 5.6. Again, you're just going to have to approximate. Negative 240 is 6.2. Negative 235 is 6.8. Negative 230 is 7.59. And then negative 2.25 is 8.39. All right. Now you'll see here that I made a mistake and I put a point wrong. What you can do is just grab some white out and just white out that point. Okay. Now you approximate your values. Okay. All right. This point probably should be a little lower, so we'll just make that bigger. And we'll actually make all the points just a little bit bigger. All right, so we have the left side graphed. Okay. Now we graph the right side, which is at 7, so that's right here. Okay, so we're looking for this point right here, that point of intersection. Okay, so to find that, again, I recommend using Desmos, so let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to exit out of these. All right, y equals 756e to the 0.02x. Enter, and then y equals 7. All right, and then I'm going to zoom out until you have that point right there, and there's your point of intersection. Okay, so the point of intersection is negative 234 point in one decimal place, comma 7. Okay, so I'll give you a second to finish up your graph. All right, so the point of intersection is negative 234.1, comma 7. So your x value in your solution is negative 234.1. All right, go ahead and finish up example 2. All right, example 3. Solve the equation 20e to the 8x equals 15e to the negative 6x graphically. Round your answer to one decimal place. All right, so first, let me give you a chance to update your graph on your paper. All right, now let's go ahead and graph. Now we're going to graph the left side first. So on, new document, no, add graph. So 20e to the 8x, press enter. Oh, now my mistake, it said I actually used the letter E. So I'm going to press cancel. And I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to come over here. You have to press that. You can't just type the letter E. You have to use that button specifically. Okay? 8x, press enter. Now I'm going to press Control T, and I'm going to come back over here and notice that the scale, I start at negative 0.8, and I'm counting by 0.1s. Okay? So I'm going to go to Menu, Table, Edit Table Settings. Let's start at negative 0.8, and we're going to count by 0.1s. Press OK. So negative 0.8 is 0.03, so that's really low. So is negative 0.7. Again, you're just going to approximate. Negative 0.6 is 0.1. Negative 0.5 is 0.36. 0.4 is 0.8. Negative 0.3 is 1.8. 0.2 is negative 0.2 is 4.03. Negative 1.1 is 8.9. 0 is 20. All right. So again, you're just going to approximate the points. And then 20 technically is right here if you want to add that point. Okay. All right, so we're going to graph the left side. All right, so we graph the left side. Now let's graph the right side. Okay. Now we can leave the tables the way it is, but I'm going to press Control T, Tab, and I'm going to erase this. I'm going to do 15. Make sure I press this E to the negative 6x. Press enter. Press Control T. Now it looks like I have to do my table setup again. So menu, table, edit table settings. So I'm going to start at negative 0.8, and we're going to count by 0.1. Press OK. Now that number is way too big. We can't graph that point, can't graph this point, can't graph this point, can't graph this. I'm going to keep going until I get to a point that I can graph. 0.15. We can graph that. Okay. 0.1 is 8.23. We can graph that point. 0.2 is 4.5. 0.3 is 2.47. Again, we're just going to have to approximate these points. 0.4 is 1.36. 0.5 is 0.7. 0.6 is 0.4. 0.7 is 0.22. And 0.8 is 0.1. All right, so there you go. We have our points graphed. All right, now it's hard to tell where exactly our point of intersection occurs, but it occurs somewhere here, okay? So now let's use Desmos to find the exact point of intersection. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of here, and then I'm going to graph 20e to the 8x, and I'm going to add the y equals just to make sure it graphs. All right, and then y equals 15e to the negative 6x. Press enter, and I'm going to press the home key, and then over here, if I click on the line, when I click on the lines, the point of intersection pops up right there. There's also a point right there, but let's zoom in. And so that's where you have to be careful. You see how that point pops up, but that's not the actual point of intersection. So if we go over here and click on the lines, now you can see here that when I zoom in, that is the point of intersection, okay? So the point of intersection is negative 0.02 comma 16.97. I did 2 decimal places because that technically the best you could do is 2 decimal places, okay? All right. Now, we want the x value, so the solution is x equals negative 0.02. Okay? All right, go ahead and finish it up and have a wonderful Wildcat day.